What is happening, CyberFam? Today we're going to go over Palantir Gotham. I did want to go into more technical aspects of these things. Keep in mind, I don't actually have access to any of this software. I'm just judging this based on the presentation that they provide and any tools that I can find online. So right now we're watching a video that Palantir themselves have posted on their YouTube channel to kind of describe it. As I understand, I do think they're going to show the UI of it and see how that works, and perhaps some features that's being used by the clients that are using it. Just to keep in mind, Gotham is their foundation. This is the stuff that the government essentially helped fund Palantir to go ahead and make for them. So we're not actually going to see a lot of the stuff that is actually being used for the purpose of what Gotham is supposed to be. We're probably going to see a small glimpse and a small sliver. However, from a software perspective, it's very important to keep in mind a lot of the things from the underlying stuff, not the stuff you see, okay? The underlying stuff is very transferable. In fact, it's actually very similar to the other processes that they may or may not show us right down the line. This is the stuff that they had prior to trying to branch off to the commercial side. So by looking at this, you can look at individual features and say, okay, this is where they got blah 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 from, this is where they got Apollo from, and that kind of stuff, right? So we got to try to remember it's a platform company, so a lot of things we see will have some similarities, and that's by design. They have been taking this and sort of deconstructing it and piecing it together for the commercial side of things. And lastly, I just want to give a quick thank you to all our service members, wherever you are. My family, there's a lot of folks that served, not here, not in the West, more in India, but still, we've always had tremendous respect for people that serve, and honestly, thank you for your service. You guys are the true heroes out there. So I really hope this kind of software really helps you guys in the field, save some more lives, and really protect us all out here. So thanks for that. All right, so let's get into it.
I'm Meredith, and I'm a deployment strategist at Palantir. During my time as an active duty Air Force officer, I saw firsthand how hard it is to navigate the fog of war. Over the past 20 years, we've been focused on the counterinsurgency fight.
Just one thing real quick. It really shows that these guys are doing their due diligence and their homework, because the folks that they have helping facilitate the procedures moving forward for Gotham and whatever else are people that are literally directly or were in the field, in some capacity previously. So that shows that you have like first party knowledge as to what people may need, right? So like Meredith here might actually go out and when she goes to Palantir, she brings like valuable information as to how they can optimize their product. So keep that in mind. This is a really good sign that they're trying to do their due diligence and bringing on board the right people.
And all that time, our near-peer rivals have observed our actions, learned our capabilities, and grown bolder.
The South China Sea is heating
Vladimir
up.
Putin tells the U.S.
A North Korean nuclear attack could be
Tensions
imminent.
between the U.S. and Iran are
near Taiwan as tensions escalate.
Now that the focus is shifting to great power competition, the real question is, can we deter the next great war? As a notional example, an escalation could start with something as simple as the Chinese military conducting a routine exercise in the South China Sea. To see the full picture and make tactical, operational, and strategic decisions, the U.S. and allied forces rely on Palantir. Monitoring the exercise, AI models running on satellite data detect an increased level of military activity.
Okay, so just off the bat there, they describe how the model set is being brought in. They are AI models that come from satellite data. So basically we can trace the input of that. So basically there's like think of it like this. Actually, it's not going to look like this exactly that you see on the screen, but it's most likely satellite imagery that's being snapshotted every, it's hard to say. I think the smallest time frame I've seen is about 15 seconds apart, and all of these pictures and metadata goes up and basically trains a model, and that model is what the the model's output and the analysis of the output, the combination of the output, and what it actually means is put into some kind of human readable format, which is then displayed over here. That's where you can, if you can connect the dots there. So this is the AI model they're referring to is from that large set of metadata. Think about it. Every 15 seconds, up to a minute, maybe even 5 minutes, these satellites are taking snapshots of pretty much anywhere that they're positioned, and then basically tagging it with metadata, any kind of metadata that it can pick. That's another model that does the tagging most likely, or there's like actual people that do the tagging. Most likely there's some automation there. But so it's like multiple things here that's happening within like fractions of a second snapshots. So that's already pretty powerful, as you can probably tell. Sorry, I'll stop interrupting. Let's get back into this.
To the north, ship detection models identify an alarming buildup of fishing vessels surrounding a major Taiwanese port. An activity model detects that many of those ships are tied together, suggesting an ulterior motive and increasing the risk of a blockade. The U.S. maintains a national interest in free trade throughout the South China Sea. And as an island only 90 miles off the coast of mainland China, Taiwan is especially reliant on freedom of navigation through international waters. This free trade is particularly critical given that Taiwan produces 80% of the world's semiconductors. The device you're watching this on today almost certainly relies on these parts. Any disruption could be disastrous. So as the team watches closely with partner nations, a new alert comes in from Japanese intelligence. The Chinese Luoyang destroyer has gone dark and isn't showing up on intelligence feeds. The ship had previously been docked at a southern naval base, but AI models detect that it's now missing.
Okay, first off, this looks really cool. This looks like all the sci-fi kind of stuff that you would think in a video game or a movie that they show. It looks like that, right? I'm pretty sure this is the actual UI from what I can tell. Of course, some of the stuff is staged. Okay, and when I mean staged, I mean it's not real, right? This whole thing is probably a simulation. But I'm 100% sure all these satellite images are pretty real. So just imagine the clarity that they're actually getting from the metadata sets and the actual imagery. Secondly, if you notice here, it showed that the intelligence is coming from Japan. So, it shows that it actually, and this is, guys, like we went through like multiple decades where the intelligence community needed exactly this kind of software or this kind of integration, right? Like Palantir here with Gotham just provides that level of integration where it's almost seamless from your allies, giving you information about like where things are and stuff like that. Also, it's important to note here, I think from what I can tell, it seems like it's an incident-based like alerting system, which basically means, and this makes sense, but I think what's happening here, and I've kind of built some stuff like this, not like this is crazy shit, but I'm talking about like the model of incident based, right? Basically what happens is if you have a large data set and you need to react to a specific type of data set, it's very important. The tagging of the metadata is very, very important, right? So once you start tagging, you basically take that into a secondary like database or some kind of like a data store it can be temporary, but think of it as a persistent data source, and you run automation on that data source. Now you could have machine learning in here as well. Most of the time it's just like simple models to increase speed. But basically what you do is you look for certain patterns. You look for like, if I'm giving you a very brief example, right? Like in this case, if region is this latitude, longitude, if ship size is this, blah, 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 if, ship color is blah, 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 if it's within this region, then classify it as a Chinese PLA Navy vessel and flag it in the system. So once it flags it in the system, it shows up as an alert right here. In this case, you can see that the alert came back saying the ship is not at the dock here, right? So it's not at the oh my god, why am I losing the term for harbor? it's not here. So then another system, like another the step to that is you pull with the metadata that I was mentioning before, you can pull all the information that you potentially have for this asset, right? And then it shows you that whatever, look, It shows the munitions here. Look, activity, all this stuff. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. This is all metadata, by the way, right? So this is all it being classified from the picture that it pulls up. This isn't like, it's not like China's releasing a database full of their stuff, right? This is all stuff that's coming from the intelligence community, all integrated onto one screen through metadata. That's amazing already. I'll stop talking and we'll get back into this.
Gotham fuses data from multiple sources to project likely paths for the Luoyang. The most dangerous routes head east, towards both the military exercise and the mounting tensions outside the Taiwanese port. The analyst identifies a key fork to monitor between the routes. To collect more imagery, machine learning models built by academic and commercial partners run on data across all domains. The models determine that satellite coverage alone is not enough to find the ship. Based on what is capable and ready, the system recommends a few alternatives. The best option is an aircraft from Okinawa. Before finalizing the selection, analysts deploy the latest micromodels, trained to avoid incoming threats, identify military equipment, and detect military ships. The unmanned aircraft receives its mission and prepares for takeoff. Time is ticking, and they need to find the ship quickly.
Wow. Take a look at this. Look what they tell you right here. I just want to rewind this back real quick.
That satellite coverage alone is not enough to find the ship. Based on what is capable and ready, the system recommends a few alternatives. The best option is an aircraft from Okinawa. Before finalizing the selection, analysts deploy the latest micromodels, trained to avoid incoming threats, identify military equipment, and detect military ships.
So there are other models here. It's not just like built-in Palantir models. It looks like, right? They were alluding to the fact that there were other partnerships. Hold on.
Gotham fuses data from multiple sources to project likely paths for the Luoyang. The most dangerous routes head east, towards both the military exercise and the mounting tensions outside the Taiwanese port. The analyst identifies a key fork to monitor between the routes. To collect more imagery, machine learning models built by academic and commercial partners run on data across all domains.
Okay, so the machine learning models are using the data sets. Now, of course, when you have data sets that are just coming back from one data source like satellite, it's not enough. You need to actually have a cross-section of data from different sources for you to be able to actually have like more in-depth models. That's what they're talking about here. So they're using multiple types of data points and entries to actually create like what's called an aggregate. So like you combine all of them and make like a basically just categorize it by using different models, and through that they're able to sort of track and say, okay, here are XYZ amount of possible directions that the ship might have traveled to, right? That's pretty intense, man. What really gets me going, to be honest, is the level of integration is amazing. Like, I mean, look at this. Okay, so once they have some level of idea as to where this destroyer might be headed, like the system, there's an analyst right behind this desk here. It's not exactly like fully automated. There's an analyst behind the desk that needs to action out certain tasks, and this person is given so many options, right? Like, and it could be very trying, but the options that they're given are very directive oriented. Like, look at this. They're saying, okay, it's even giving suggestions saying, okay, we don't understand or we don't know where the ship is, but the next best solution to your problem right now is to deploy an unmanned aircraft, right? And like, this is all stuff, again, within the intelligence community. It's all stuff that would have been completely manual. Like, somebody would have had to call 13 levels to actually get this thing organized. I mean, I don't know, right? I'm just speculating, but you can already understand, like, all the stuff that we understand here. It's very sensitive, right? So you'd have to contact so many people. This is why Palantir is among the few companies that are allowed to even operate in this space. But anyway, so you can literally deploy a drone from this software. It's like, the level of integration is amazing. And you can actually even tell the drone to do certain tasks, which is what they're getting to, right? You can give the drone like a certain directive to follow. Like, look at this stuff.
Before finalizing the selection, analysts deploy the latest micromodels, trained to avoid incoming threats, identify military equipment.
This micromodel is basically telling the drone to follow a certain flight path to avoid certain hotspots, for example, right? Man, God, it's amazing.
And detect military ships. The unmanned aircraft receives its mission and prepares for takeoff. Time is ticking, and
just to put into context, I know I keep stopping, but just to put into context how amazing this is all done through generally APIs, okay? Like not all of them, of course. There's some more direct and faster ways of doing it, but these are all done through like connections. So from the back end, like when a signal goes out, when you actually type a request, it goes out to like the destination, right? In which case is like the actual plane or like the command center where the plane is sitting, and then that gives the instructions to the actual unit, like the plane itself, and then it has to basically take the information, acknowledge it, and then send back an acknowledgement. So like all of this is happening within like probably, I would say, under a few minutes, really, right? At least that's what it seems like in this demo. But the level of, oh my God, it's just amazing, the fact that they have all of this stuff integrated. You guys don't understand. There's multiple systems here. This isn't just computer to plane. This is like computer to like 15 different jumps, most likely, you know, crazy firewall setups and very sensitive level of like communication here. So I don't know, man.
And they need to find the ship quickly. As the aircraft departs, video streams back to headquarters in real time. A ship identification model detects the dimensions, speed, and weapon system of the destroyer headed north. An analyst back in the operations center verifies the detection, which confirms the Liu Yang is on the most dangerous path and is only a few hours away from the potential blockade. The commander is briefed on the fast developing situation and examines several human and machine-generated courses of action that have been jointly tested and developed in past exercises and simulations. The first option involves sending reinforcements to a nearby base, which may take too long. The second option is to send a manned aircraft over the fishing vessels, which could introduce unnecessary risk. The third option is a freedom of navigation operation, which means positioning an American or Allied ship closer to the developing situation. This option appears to have the highest probability of success with the lowest risk. Joint forces decide to task an American ship. Once the choice is selected, a task order is submitted, and the American ship quickly alters course. The team watches closely as the operation progresses, and as the American ship approaches, the fishing vessel blockade begins to disband, and the Liu Yang continues north without incident. While this example was notional, events like these happen more often than you realize, and one wrong move could put millions at risk. In these situations, Palantir Gotham provides those who protect our values with the technology to make decisions at speed, and in the process, makes the world a safer place.
Okay. There's a lot to take in. It's a 5-minute video, guys, but I'm telling you, so much to take in here. Okay, in that last bit, before we get off, let's work backwards here. I like how she said it likes to protect our values. Palantir has been very unapologetic in the terms of, like, you know, they're like, oh, we won't give any of our software to non-allied countries, companies within those countries. It is what it is. I do support it, but, like, you know, I expressed my concern about it in my other video. Now, just to cap it off, I know I already said so much, but let's just rewind for 1 second here. You guys understand, like, what we're looking at here? Look at this, man. So at this point here, it gives them the possible, you know, actions that they can take. There's options where you could compare. So there's so much metadata here, right? There's so much granularity in each unit of action. Okay, it's like this isn't just like, this is why I'm so bullish on this company, right? This isn't just like a simple AI thing. It's not like they're training multiple things here. This isn't just one algorithm. They're training multiple things, you know, to be able to generate all this kind of metadata to actually act dynamically, like on the fly, you know, give it a risk, a number or something, right? Give it a risk associated with it. Look at there's a feasibility, there's estimated time, which means that it's taking into consideration each vehicle and how long how fast it travels, average speed, knots for ships and that kind of stuff. It is, oh god, it's very, very intense here, man. Like I think, I don't know. I think there's a lot more here than I can even cover in this video, but you can probably tell here, just from an IT perspective, this stuff would have, I understand now, like I understand why it took them this long to come to the commercial side, because this product, Gotham, I can understand why it took them so long to go public. It would have taken them this long to make. And this is probably why they want to go, you know, public, because there's so much here that they can take out and address to enterprise. This is super overkill for any like one company, obviously, right? Very crucial for the military, but I can see how parts of it have been split up, and that's why we're seeing what we're seeing with Apollo and Foundry for startups and Foundry for crypto and all that stuff, right? But yeah, the level of integration here is amazing, and I have an idea. I mean, I think they were able to drop the latency, so the amount of communication time it takes between each integration point, very low. So I think there's more than just algorithms here. They are able to sort of lower their latency and actually make things super fast, to a point where they have human analysts, right, that actually respond to these actionable items, and they're able to get stuff like as fast as possible. Because I mean, this is very high level risk for national security and for allies. Damn, dude, I don't know. I think this is a lot, but again, I really suggest you guys watch the video yourself. Try to pause as much as you can and look what's on the screen. I'm telling you, like, if there's a lot there, it's not just buttons to click. There's like multiple systems that would need to be integrated, and this is just a UI wrapper, UI as in user interface. So keep that in mind. I mean, this is pretty cool, man. But that's it for me. I think I really killed this video, went overboard on this one, but I hope this helped you understand a little bit. I'm pretty mind blown. I haven't actually seen Gotham before this, so I'm really happy that I'm an investor in this company after seeing just this one video. I'm sure there's gonna be more coming out, but that's it for me, guys. I mean, let me know what you think in the comments below. I definitely rambled a lot in this one, so sorry for that, but I'm trying to just contain my excitement a little bit. So let me know what you think. We'll have a chat in the comments below. That's it for me. Peace.